Bridgewater didn't want applause. He didn't want headlines, interviews, or trophies. All he wanted was to feed hungry kids, drive them to practice, give them clean uniforms, and protect their bodies from breaking down before they even had a shot. So why did they try to shut him down? This isn't just a story about football. It's a story about what happens when a black man stops asking for permission and starts building something powerful on his own terms. He gave his own money, tens of thousands, not for clout, but for survival. He didn't break the rules. He bypassed the system. And for that, they hit him with a suspension from a job he technically didn't even have. No contract, no paycheck, just purpose. But what Teddy exposed wasn't just corruption. He exposed a truth that made the system flinch. That real change doesn't need their approval. And that's what they fear most. Teddy Bridgewater didn't clock in. He didn't sign contracts. He wasn't on anyone. And yet he got suspended. Let that sink in. A man who volunteered every hour, spent every dime out of pocket, and built something from scratch was punished like he broke the rules of a game he wasn't even playing. When the news broke, everyone asked the same thing. Suspended from what? That's when Teddy responded, not with an apology, but with fire. In a now viral Facebook post, he laid it all out. He wasn't hiding, and he sure wasn't backing down. He made one thing crystal clear. You can't suspend someone who doesn't work for you. That single line hit harder than any headline. It exposed what was really going on. This wasn't about policy. This wasn't about protocol. This was about power and the discomfort that comes when a black man creates real change without needing permission. The suspension? It wasn't a punishment. It was a warning shot, a quiet attempt to put him back in his place. But they didn't expect him to fight back. And they definitely didn't expect the world to listen, because what happened next would spark outrage far beyond Miami. Teddy Bridgewater didn't post a rant. He posted receipts. Not to flex, but to prove a point. Every dollar he spent was a declaration. He wasn't out here handing out inspiration and walking away. He was fronting the cost of survival week after week, meal after meal. $1,500 a week, so every kid could eat breakfast after workouts. $14,000 for a 4-night training camp with hot meals from local black-owned restaurants. $9,500 on full uniform sets, not hand-me-downs, but gear they could wear with pride. $700 weekly in Uber fares just to get players to practice alive. $1,300 a week on recovery trucks to care for bodies breaking down too early. $300 weekly just to keep the field painted, because these kids deserve to walk onto something they could be proud of. This wasn't some influencer gesture. This wasn't charity. This was infrastructure. This was strategy. He didn't ask boosters, didn't wait on district budgets. He just saw the need and solved it. And when he ended that letter with, "This isn't a cry for help, but to those considering donating, thank you," it hit different. Because it wasn't about money. It was about sending a message. If no one else will fight for these kids, I will. To understand why this story cuts so deep, you need to know where it started. Liberty City isn't just a neighborhood. It's a pressure cooker. It's where poverty, violence, and broken systems collide. But it's also where fighters are born. This is where Teddy Bridgewater grew up. A place where making it to the NFL isn't just a dream, it's survival. Where a hot meal or a safe ride can be the difference between making it to practice or getting pulled into something darker. Teddy didn't forget that. When he retired, he didn't run to the networks or cash in on podcast deals like so many ex-players do. He went home, back to the same high school that gave him a shot, Miami Northwestern. But this wasn't nostalgia, it was purpose. He saw the same pain he'd once lived through, still there, still unhealed. And he knew, no TV deal, no check, no Instagram post could fix it. Only real work, in real time, with real kids, could change anything. Liberty City made him, and now he was back to return the favor. Teddy Bridgewater wasn't trying to build a championship team. He was trying to build men. Because in Liberty City, football isn't just a game. It's therapy, it's mentorship, it's escape. And sometimes, it's the only safe space a young black boy has. So when Teddy stepped onto that field, it wasn't about plays and stats. It was about discipline, purpose, and dignity. He made sure every kid had a clean jersey because walking with pride starts with how you show up. He paid for trainers, recovery vans, and proper meals because no kid should have to limp through life just to chase a dream. He called them out when they slacked, pulled them aside when they struggled, and looked them in the eye like someone who knew their pain. He didn't need a whistle or a title. He earned their respect the way real leaders do, by showing up every single day. And these weren't just players. They were fatherless boys, straight-A students, kids dodging violence on the walk home. Each one had a story. Teddy didn't just coach them, he covered them. And maybe that's what shook the system the most. Because when a man teaches others how to lead without asking for permission, he becomes dangerous. Teddy Bridgewater wasn't a threat when he was donating quietly. But when he started speaking up, the system flinched. Because it's one thing to help kids, it's another to expose the fact that no one else was helping them. When Teddy laid out the thousands he was spending just to keep the program breathing, it raised an uncomfortable question. Where was everyone else? The boosters, the board, the district, the city. That's when the pushback started. Suddenly, there were whispers about protocol violations, concerns about him stepping on toes, and eventually, that ridiculous suspension. But here's the twist. Teddy wasn't even officially hired. He had no title, no salary, no official authority. So why suspend him? Because it made headlines. Because it made him look like the problem, not the broken system he was exposing. They wanted him silent. Instead, he got louder. He published every receipt. He called out the fake support. He made it clear. This wasn't a football problem. This was a failure of leadership. And just like that, the story flipped. Because once the truth was out, people started asking questions. And what came next? They never saw coming. The moment Teddy dropped that open letter, the streets lit up. Parents, former players, even rival coaches, they weren't confused about what was happening. They knew exactly what this suspension really was. A punishment for caring too loudly. Instagram pages reposted the letter. News outlets scrambled to catch up. And within hours, #FreeTeddy started trending locally. Because people saw through it. They saw a man pouring his own money, time, and heart into kids, getting penalized by the very system that had failed them first. One mother posted, "My son never had a male role model until Coach Teddy showed up. Now he eats, trains, and believes in himself." Another wrote, "They've had years to help these boys. Teddy gave them one offseason and changed everything." Even Miami legends came out in support. Elgerin James, Chad Johnson, old teammates, coaches, they didn't mince words. They backed Teddy publicly. And when reporters pressed the district for answers, silence. No clear reason, no official statement, just bureaucracy hiding behind policy. But the people didn't need a memo. They saw the truth in real time. Teddy wasn't just coaching football, he was coaching courage. And once that energy hit the city, the school board wasn't ready for what came next. Teddy's suspension was supposed to be a warning shot. Instead, it became a spotlight. Because now, the entire city was looking at the one question no one in power wanted to answer. How did it get this bad in the first place? How does one of the most legendary football programs in Florida, a school that produced NFL talent for decades, not have trainers? No meal plans? No working recovery equipment? Where was the funding? Where was the support? Teddy revealed that Miami Northwestern had received millions in donations over the years, but no one could say where it all went. He showed how he was paying for gear out of pocket, driving kids to practice, and even feeding players after games, while district officials sat in meetings and sent press releases. And here's the truth that hurt the most. This isn't just a Liberty City problem. It's happening in every underfunded, overlooked, majority black school across America. The system fails them, then punishes anyone who tries to fix it from the inside. What Teddy exposed wasn't just mismanagement. It was neglect dressed up as leadership. And once the city saw it, there was no putting the mask back on. Teddy Bridgewater didn't ask for the spotlight. He earned it by doing the work no one else would. He didn't need a press conference. He had the receipts. He didn't ask for praise. He asked for accountability. Just that. And when the system tried to shut him up, he made sure everyone heard him. Because this was never just about football. It was about dignity, about opportunity, about kids who have to dodge failure and violence just to chase a dream, and about the adults who keep failing them, year after year, with smiles and silence. Teddy could have walked away. He already made his money, but he stayed because he knows what it's like to be that kid. The one with talent, but no guidance. A one with hope, but no help. And now he's building a path, brick by brick, that others are too afraid to even talk about. This story might not trend forever. The headlines will fade, but the impact? It won't. Because when a man stands up in a broken system and says, "You will not break these kids," that echo travels. And for the ones still watching from the sidelines, wondering if change is even possible, Teddy Bridgewater just proved it is.